mother-in-law was fractious and volatile, beginning when he eloped with her daughter to Reno in August 1929. At ages 25 and 22, my parents ran away and got married. My dad was born Frank Hamilton Lesh in New Berlin, Ohio, now called Canton, the change a result of widespread anti-German sentiment during World War I, in 1904, the third of 7 children. Family tradition describes an epic journey undertaken in 1919 by Grandpa Bill, Uncle Lawrence, and my dad halfway across America, from Ohio to Arizona, then to Oregon in a Model T Ford. They went west, traveling on what were then mostly dirt roads, to find a new home for the family, or maybe just a little elbow room. My dad's typically laconic description of this trip: pretty rough. They eventually settled in Medford, Oregon, where Grandpa opened up a grocery store and bakery. He converted the old Model T into a delivery truck, with the slogan, "Lesh's Luscious Loaf," proudly emblazoned on the sides. My dad finished high school in Corvallis, Oregon, and then attended Oregon State University, graduating with a degree in pharmacy. His real gift, though, was working with mechanical things. He had an uncanny ability to visualize the inner workings of any machine and to unerringly diagnose any problems. The digital dexterity this talent required also stood him in good stead as an amateur musician. He had played euphonium in high school and college bands, and while I was growing up, we all liked nothing better than to hear him barrel out exuberant versions of his favorite tunes on our upright piano. He was self-taught as a pianist, but you'd never know it to hear him. Perhaps I'm listening through the rose-colored haze of memory, but it seems he could have played in any piano bar I've ever been in. My mom, Barbara Jewel Chapman, was born in 1907 in Winfield, Kansas. When Mom was 2, her mother, Jewel Schmidt Fuller, known as Bobby, separated from her husband and filed for divorce, a very courageous move for a woman in those days. Winning a successful settlement, she lived alone with her child until she married Arthur Chapman, her second husband, and moved to Kansas City, Missouri. Grandfather Chapman was a bon vivant and restaurateur in Kansas City, and they lived comfortably there until his death in 1928. Bobby and my mother then moved to Stockton, California, to live with Bobby's sister, my great-aunt Tilly. It was then that Barbara began commuting to Berkeley on weekends to visit her cousins, and it was there that she met my dad in early 1929. After their wedding in August 29, they found an apartment on Alcatraz Avenue in Berkeley, where they lived for some time. Before I was born, Bobby came to live with them, and they moved to a series of larger places, culminating in the house on Edgecroft Road in Kensington, a suburb of Berkeley, where I grew up. After college, Frank had decided not to go into pharmacy, but to become an apprentice in the field of office machine repair, where his considerable mechanical skills could be put to good use. He rapidly rose through the hierarchy in the Bay Area, and by the time I came along, he and Mom had opened their own business. For the first few years of my life, both of my parents were working during the week, first at their business, and then, after that folded during World War II, at other similar companies. This meant that I spent most of my days with Bobby, my grandma, whom I absolutely adored. It was through her sensitive and loving attention that at age 4 I first became aware of the power of music. It was her custom on Sunday afternoons to listen to the New York Philharmonic radio broadcasts. As the family legend relates, one Sunday during the concert, she came out of her room, which was next to mine, and discovered me sitting on the floor with my ear pressed against the wall, entranced by the sounds emanating from the radio. She immediately invited me into her room to hear the remainder of the broadcast. As luck would have it, the next piece on the program was Brahms's First Symphony, an immensely arresting and powerful piece. I felt as if I'd been carried into a familiar, half-remembered realm. When I was in 3rd grade, there was a talent show at my school's Christmas assembly. In it, my classmate Johnny played a violin solo. Something about the sound of his playing resonated, and at the next meeting of our music class, I announced my intention to take up the instrument. At that time, we had a music teacher who came in once a week and taught us how to read music notation and sing simple choral tunes. She also taught beginning instruments after school. So I brought a violin home, along with a form for my parents to sign, stating that they agreed to maintain the instrument and to replace it if it was damaged beyond repair. This caused no small amount of consternation, for 2 reasons. One, I had kept my musical aspirations more or less to myself, so this development came as a surprise.
To keep listening to this audiobook for free, click the link in the description. It will take you to a free Audible trial where you can listen to this and many other books for free for 30 days.